on the big, beautiful bill point, and I think this is really what got under Trump's skin. They've been working on this for a long time. This will be the signature legislative achievement of this year, and it's pass-fail. I talked to Scott Besson about this a month and a half or 2 months ago. It's pass-fail. If the bill fails, then you have the largest tax increase in American history, and the economy is going to falter because of that, and Trump's agenda is going to be really, really impeded. So they have to get something like this through, not to mention the immigration funding, not to mention the military funding, not to mention so on and so forth. So it has to happen. And for your biggest advisor, or one of your biggest advisors, to come out and say, I hate the thing that you have to get done, man, that's going to throw a wrench even if you don't call me a pedophile.
Not helpful.
Not helpful at all. So look, he doesn't need the Doge anymore. He doesn't want the advice anymore, it seems. He just needs to make sure that platform and those 200 million don't go in the other direction. And I think he's doing a good job of maintaining that.
So in the past, when you go to a very big person that you need to help you become a president, Nixon went to Billy Graham. Billy Graham writes about this in his book. And Billy Graham got his back. And then after he got in, there was a lot of conflicts back and forth. Billy Graham said, I will never endorse a president ever again. And it was nasty. Okay. All right. So John F. Kennedy, they needed the mob. The mob with Chicago, Dewey, the 8,000 votes, the dead, whatever. And then eventually later on after they win, they're like, well, we never needed Chicago in the first place anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
We're going to win without you. Were there some promises made to them, where that came back afterwards? And then they're like, what happened? You told us you're going to do this, and now you're coming after us? We're going to take you out. You're done. Who knows? Hey, Billy Graham, who was baptized 250 million people in his lifetime. This guy went and spoke in Korea. 1.5 million people showed up to hear him speak. That's going to be translated by somebody else. Billy Graham's level of influence was, you needed his endorsement. This is a guy that would go on Leno. This is a guy that would go on Johnny Carson. This is a guy, he would go on Johnny Carson regularly. I don't know if he went on Leno, but he went on Johnny Carson. It's phenomenal when you watch it. You needed his endorsement, right? Today, that guy's Musk. Did the president make some promises to Musk if he helps him win?
Great point.
And then not keep
What
him?
would the promise have been? The big sticking point on the bill was the EV credit. But you got to remember, going back months now, Trump said, I'm going to get rid of the EV credit.
Yeah.
And Musk even came out and said, I'm okay with that. Now, maybe he wasn't okay with that. But my question then for Musk, and maybe this just gets to his political innocence, if the EV credit really were the thing that mattered so much to him, why didn't he bring it to the president? Why didn't he bring it to Susie Wiles? Why didn't he bring it to? Why didn't he?
How do you know he didn't, though?
It is my impression that he didn't. Now, maybe he did, but it is my distinct impression that he did not. And I think a lot of this would not have happened had he brought it to him and gotten a clear answer either way. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I don't work in the White House, but it is my distinct impression that it didn't come up.
So just so you know, in this case, I am on Trump's side because I think Trump is 100% America first. Elon's got businesses that's international, and his leanings could be in a different place.
He's more libertarian. He's more pro-free trade.
And to be quite honest with you, what he's building, it's a good thing when you fight a girlfriend or you fight a friend, and let's just say people are drunk, and you have 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, you gather all the intel you needed. All you needed.
Yeah.
And it's like, bam, 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 bam. Oh.
Yeah.
Take some notes.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go to dinner? But it's here.
Right.
And I think just in that 2-hour exchange on X, I gathered so much intel from Elon just for myself long term.
Yeah.
Not even for Trump, for my sake. My kids, long-term planning, vision, all of that stuff. I gathered a lot of intel. But the part where I will side with Elon is the following. In anything you do with business, with sales, with parenting, with marriage, with any of that, if you overpromise and underdeliver, you just created an enemy. So in this case, if he promised Musk something and he didn't deliver, Musk's going to sit there and say, dude, I took a break for all my companies, and I went and lived in Pennsylvania.
I tanked my companies.
Exactly. Yeah. For you to help you win, and you don't want to help me out with these two things because now Susie Wiles says, look, we're in here, we got to move on, and all the people in your ears. That could, it's going to sound weird, that could cause a certain level of rage and anger in Elon that may not affect Trump, but it may affect people that come after Trump. That could be an issue that we have to deal with for decades to come.
Yes.
That's the only
And in
difference.
fairness to Elon, by the way, people are talking about the one sticking issue as the EV credits, and maybe that's it. That's a real personal kind of issue. But in fairness to Elon, I think maybe even the more likely option is he went in there and he thought it was going to be really freaking cool to take a chainsaw to the federal government, because he's super libertarian and he's a tech bro and he's whatever. And
he saw Javier Milei.
The Javier Milei chainsaw.
He
He got it. I was there when he got his
Milei
chainsaw.
gave him a big chrome chainsaw.
Right. And I think that he made all these cuts, and he was promising a lot with Doge, and then he comes out, sees this big beautiful bill, and realizes that the federal deficit in 1 year is going to wipe out any cuts he's ever possibly going to make. And his reaction might have been ideological, and in a personal way, which is saying, "Hold on, all I've done is for naught." I don't actually think all he did was for naught, but it could have been. It might not have been just like, "Hey, why didn't you help my companies?" It might have been a more principled ideological stance. But again, one where you think like, I guess to your point, maybe you got to manage expectations going in. But what you thought we were going to balance the budget?
I get that, bro. But you okay? So let's say in your mind you make 200 promises to 200 different people before you run for office. Okay?
Yeah.
And you're such a player that you know you don't have to keep 140 of them.
Yeah.
And you're still going to keep them. Let's just say, like, it's okay. They're not going to do anything. I know too much on these guys, and they're not going to do shit. Let's just say you're like at that level. There's going to be 10, 20 names. You made a promise. You better freaking deliver. And on that 10, 20, there usually is a one name that you better deliver.
Yeah.
And
that name is Elon.
That's the point. So that's where I'm going with this, where, again, I don't know. I'm not on the inside. I don't get a phone call, that say, hey, what do you think about this? I'm just, talking. This weekend is Flag Day, okay? And we're celebrating a lot of different things. And in the whole respect of Flag Day, we have some new merch. An item that I don't know what happened. We launch it at midnight, and we send an email to the people that are insiders that buy merch, and it's gone already, but we have some of it still that's left, the numbered stuff that we have. Here's a clip about what's about to come out and the new hat that's out. I have a feeling some of you guys are going to lose your mind, and you're going to want it ASAP, so go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
I love that shirt.
Show me the hat.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
It's a nice hat.
Limited edition,
Wow,
numbered hat. And these are the ones that comes in this box. It's numbered out of 250. And when you get it, there's a card inside with the hat here. I'm going to unwrap it. Chris said don't do it. Chris has got so many
late.
rules.
Sorry,
This guy,
Chris.
He's so creative. Creatives have a lot of rules.
Yeah, too late. Oh, that's
And
bad.
if you see
We're gonna
this
teach
hat
him business
here,
next
look at
year.
this. That's right. It's going to happen eventually. Future Looks Bright on the side with the Valuetainment on the back, and
number
Future
is
Looks
that?
Bright
America
here.
with that
This is not
American
numbered.
Vinny,
This
it's
is
like
the
little Air
promo.
Force guys.
I love it.
Everything there is going to be numbered. That'll come out to you. And there's a lot of, Rob, if you can go on other items, this is limited out of 250. So this will go out in the next hour, but you got other gear that you have with the American flag on it. Represent it, sport it, go to work, your flip-flops, the hats, shirts, whatever it may be. If you're proud to be an American and you love Valuetainment and Future Looks Bright, go represent, put the gear on, and go to vtmerch.com and get your latest numbered Future Looks Bright hat. Rob, if you can put the link below, go to vtmerch.com. By the way, if you go on eBay right now, it's crazy what's going on with these numbered hats that people buy and post them on here. That one right there to the left is 1 out of 250 guys selling it for 10 grand. The other one is 43 out of $53,000. These are our limited edition hats that are on eBay. For some of you that don't buy it here, we will not reproduce this. This simply ends up being on eBay. So if you want to add it to your collection, go to vtmerch.com, place your order. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.